Hello and welcome to game 3 here. We have an interesting kingdom on the board. There's draw in city quarter. We have some buy. Buy is only through salvager, and there's some gain and trashing via altar. Coven is there as an attack, something to keep in mind. So I think what you want to do is eventually get a position where you play lots of city quarters and then use something for money, covens or counts. Militia is important here, very, very important, because that will cut up the opening hand and make it more difficult for city quarters to trigger. So Goat is on the board. Spiraler opens with a Pixie, this high variance card. A good early Pixie could put you ahead by a lot. But maybe it doesn't happen, I don't know. So Pixie Militia for Spiraler, and I go not for the Pixie here. Instead, I go for a Dungeon. I want to hit 5, I want to hit count, I want to trash more quickly. That is why. A good Pixie will get you to 5, but the issue I have with the Pixie is I don't know if it'll be good. Maybe it is good. Maybe I get to 5 and I draw 2 cards and I accelerate my game like that. Like this. This is a superb Pixie. Two two wisps and they get an altar. That's a dream open for Spiraler, really. And they pick up another Pixie. So I get a Pixie there after getting hit with the Militia. And here, I could play the Dungeon. I do play the Dungeon, because I know I won't miss 5 if I do that. And I could get the Count if I want, or I could get a Coven to start attacking Spiraler. I could also get other things like another Dungeon or a Devil's Workshop, but I think I do go for the Coven here instead of the Count. I figure I could trash reasonably quickly with the Dungeon and the Goat at this point. Plus, hopefully I get to altar soon. That was part of the reason behind the Coven as well, because that was that dream turn from Spiraler. I need to catch up. I really do need to catch up. They use their altar here, get a Coven. The Coven comes with $2, so that if my Dungeon clumps the Coven and the Militia together, I'll have a good chance of getting to 6 for my altar. So they get rid of an estate, exchange it for a Coven. Here, again, a good Pixie will get me to 6. Let's see what the Pixie gives me. And yeah, we take those. We take that card and we take the 6. So that was a very good Pixie for me. Very happy about that. We get up to, well, way more than 6. But we just want the altar at this point to trash. So the Goat plus the altar will do the work for us here. Militia comes out, cuts up the opening hand, and Spiraler starts in on the city quarters. That is not a bad time to start on the city quarters because they've picked up their altar already. So while they're paying off debt, they can still gain cards and improve the deck, develop the deck as time goes along. So here on 3 could be Pixia, but I love to have duration cards symmetrical. If I have 8 caravans, I want 4 in play now and 4 in play on the next turn. And okay, I thought I was gonna buy a dungeon there, but I do go for the city quarter as well. That was what I was thinking about, though. That's why it took so much time. Should that be a dungeon or not? But I go for the city quarter instead. I wasn't confident on that. I felt like that was a little too early. Even for Spiraler, I felt it was maybe too early. And maybe he tricked me into buying the city quarter there. I don't know. But I went for it anyway. So we get Curse out with the Coven. We have one as well. And I gain another Coven here. It'll help with the city quarter having lots of actions in the deck, and it'll help me pay off debt a little bit more quickly. Plus, throw some junk into Spiraler's deck. They have 2 Covens as well. This Pixie, I wanted to scream, man. This is an incredible Pixie. Because now they get plus buy from the salvager and they get the dungeon. That was a nice advantage that I had over them for, well, this many turns, that I had the dungeon to help spin me to my cards more quickly. But now the Pixie says, well, nope. We'll give that to Spirala as well. I do see a decent turn here. I see all the cards that I want to see. Militia, Coven, Altar, and the City Quarter to boot. And here, I use the altar to gain another gainer, the Devil's Workshop, and here I get my second dungeon. Yes, I do like the second dungeon. I think it's quite helpful. On the other hand, Spiraler has a second city quarter by this point. So the second city quarter is reasonable now. There's lots of actions in the deck. The covens are emptying the curses slowly, so we will have to deal with that. And that's part of the reason also why I got the dungeon. It can help circle past those curses, help line up my city quarter with my actions. As it is, the game is about par, but I like my position. I have an additional dungeon. I have the Devil's Workshop. I think that was a nice thing to gain here. I am missing the city quarter though, and the plus buy, but I don't really need the plus buy yet, and I could gain it at any time with the altar, like now. So I go for the salvager here, and here this could be another city quarter. Instead, I opt for a mission. Now the mission was to try to be a little bit cute here. I wanted to really pump a lot of curses into Spiraler's deck. That is why I went for the mission. Could have been a city quarter, as I mentioned before. I thought about it. I decided for the mission instead. I wanted to land double coven into the deck here, and maybe gain a gold or something off the Devil's Workshop. I only land one curse in. I put a dungeon in play, which is helpful too. I get an altar trash, so not the worst mission in the world, but also not as good as it could have been for me here. So altar trash, I am gonna get a third coven here. This is not about the curses now. This is about money and draw for the city quarter. Devil's Workshop is gonna gain me a pixie. I hope Pixie can be kind to me in the near future. And I do get 4 curses dumped into my discard pile there from Spiraler. Their altar trashes their goat. I guess they have no need for it anymore. They pick up a third coven of their own, go for a third city quarters. Now I do need the city quarters, and I will start to buy them soon, because I need the draw, right? I don't have enough draw. Double gain silver here was reasonable, but because I don't have the draw, I'm not taking it. Plus I have these curses to sort out first. I missed my altar, for example, here, so that is a bit of an issue. 8, this is going to be something, and a city quarter for sure. Oh, I think it's mission and city quarter, yeah. So I want to use the mission to trash a little bit, get the Devil's Workshop in play. I could gain pixies, I could trash with altar. This is a decent pixie, but I want to use the altar to trash the curse instead of the pixie. I could use the pixie for something else later. I do trash that pixie for the plus cards. I know it'll get hit by a militia, but it gives me a better chance to find the city quarter to begin with. Another coven for me here. Apparently I'm going to use those for money, and another pixie. So now the piles are thin. 3 pixies, 3 covens, but I feel better about it because I have the workshop, the Devil's Workshop. Even if it doesn't give me a pixie, it'll give me an imp, and I'm happy about that. So now Spiraler takes a mission turn, only able to play the altar and gets another coven. Very low the piles are now, but I have a points lead. I have a lead in the amount of junk in their deck. I think I won the curse split 6-4. So I feel good about my position here. I trash this pixie here just to make sure that I can draw into decent cards, because I know there are a bunch of curses in the deck. So I do clear up the top of my deck here and get all the way through till the end. Now I need to keep the militia. Like I said, militia is very, very important for limiting your opponent's turn here. You want to be playing that every single turn. So I do play it. I get my 3rd city quarter here, pay off for that debt immediately. Great. Great. I think we're in a good position here now to pilot this endgame. So let's see what we can come up with and what Spiraler comes up with. So they get rid of a curse. They get rid of a curse and they take a duchy, recognizing that the end game is upon us. And then points are important, especially considering that they were behind. And they go for a mission, pick up a 4th city quarter as well. And this turns out to be an incredible mission turn for them. Their city quarter draws a lot of cards for them. Gains a Devil's Workshop there. So now they're equal to me in the gains. Salvager, Devil's Workshop, altar. Just a matter of what Pixie wants to give you now. And they thin out their deck. Even more payoff for the debt for the city quarter here. Great turn for them. Very, very good turn for them. So I'm hoping for something similar myself here. This Devil's Workshop, yeah, can gain a Pixie, or it could gain another Salvager. The very Salvager's smart move there. Very good card to get in the end game. Can surprise your opponent with lots of money. But my 3 city quarters kind of come up weak here. They don't get me through the whole deck. And not only that, here, very critically, I miss my Militia. Bottom card of the deck. I really wanted to see that. I really wanted to see that Militia. But it's not going to happen. I can take a mission to go ahead and see that Militia if I want to. Maybe I should, given how important it is. Also here, Trash, thinking about the Duchy, but also thinking if there's a way to end the game on the mission turn, and I don't think so. I don't see it, because you can't buy anything on the mission turn. So I just take the Duchy, and instead of taking the mission, I take the province, just convert points. I want it to be as far ahead as possible, given that the piles are so thin, which I think is a reasonable thing to do, right? Spirala's city quarters fire off again, so they've recovered remarkably well from that curse barrage. So all that effort I put into junking them with the Covenant seems to have not been worth it, really. Seems to have not been worth it if they have turns like these. And so instead of getting the province there, I could have gone for mission and salvager or something, just to stick the militia into play and maybe get a big turn on my next turn with the city quarter. You know, for sure that hand has 5 cards, right? So maybe that was the right thing to do there. And then I could have trashed, gain another duchy with the altar. Maybe. So potentially that was a misplay from me there. The altar comes out for Spiraler. Probably they are also thinking about if they could end the game. I think no, because I got a lot of points on my last turn. So it should be very difficult, if not difficult and impossible, to end the game. They think a lot about what to do with this altar here. So they obviously getting rid of a curse is just what to gain with it. You don't want to touch the covens to make the pile out more easier for me. But what do you get if not the coven? Probably just another duchy, right? They've started to do that since the last turn, so why not continue? It's consistent with the green mentality. So they do get the duchy. And now that, remember, they have double Salvager, right? Obviously the militia is going to come out here, so Salvager trashes the last curse from their deck, and they have the last Salvager, which they could use to trash Duchy to get double province. So that is a good play, very, very good play. But watch this turn from me here. Watch this garbage. Watch this absolute trash of a draw. The pause here is me being stunned. This is... I don't know what to say. I really have no idea what to say about that turn. You know, I don't think my deck is that bad. I really do not think my deck is that bad. So after that turn, definitely behind the game now, and that didn't feel good at all, because I felt, you know, first there was the altar at the beginning. I worked, I got the altar, I caught up, I felt there. I won the curse split like I wanted to, which I felt was important to slow down Spiraler. I won the curse split, I did everything I wanted to do, and it seems like at the end of the day, the game just doesn't reward you for that. Anyways, we continue playing here because, you know, maybe they brick. They didn't brick. They see everything. I understand they have one more city quarter than me, but come on. That hand? Really? That's unreasonable. I feel that's unreasonable. Anyways, I couldn't even buy a mission there. What am I supposed to do? I could have played the city quarter early to draw, right? But I figured, okay, let me play the dungeon. It won't be worse than what I have in my hand. Turns out it was worse. So they go ahead, and I think they're able to get to double province here. So that almost entirely seals up the game at this point for Spirala. I don't think I could do anything to contest double province at this point. Even they could pile out. Yeah, they do pile out. Oh no, they don't. You're right. So this, I didn't like that at all. So they went for the mission, right? They tried some cute thing where they half emptied our pile and then hopefully went for the mission to get the last two pixies, right? Alta gained one pixie, Devil's Workshop gained the last one. But what they did to do that was, I think, trash our province. So look at the point situation right now, 12 to 8. What if they bricked? You know, what if they had a terrible hand? They just gave me an opportunity to empty the piles and to win the game when it had no reason to do that. So, I don't know. This game didn't leave a good taste in my mouth here. Anyways, that's how it ends Game 3 to Spirala. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.